second and third graders. Welcome to Math Monday here. We are going to talk about something that we've worked around a little bit. Third graders, you have done some of this already this year. Second graders, this is going to be new to you guys. Third graders, this will be great practice, and you're going to get some new stuff a little later on this week. So this will help kind of refresh that memory. We are going to talk about something called perimeter. Spell it out here for you guys so that everybody gets to see what that looks like. Perimeter. So if you're a third grader, think about maybe if you've heard that. Second graders, you may have worked on a little bit of this in some Khan Academy or some Prodigy or Splash Math. But whether you have or whether you haven't, we're going to start with the basics here today of perimeter. 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 Now, perimeter is a type of measurement, and we've done lots of things with measurement. And whether it's got anything to do with it or not, it's got that word meter right in there that we've worked on so far this year. We've talked about meters, kilometers, feet, all that type of stuff. It has to do with measuring. And often when we measure perimeter type lengths, we are dealing with rectangles that we've all learned about this year. Not always do we measure rectangles, but that's usually what we start with, rectangles. Now, things we know about a rectangle, second and third graders that we've studied this year. It's got 4 of those right angles. We could draw those boxes in there, they'd be perfect in all 4 corners. We know, and this is important for perimeter, the top and the bottom are the same, as well as the left and the right side. Now that comes to be really, really important as we start to measure our perimeter stuff, because sometimes they don't always give us all the information. In the beginning, we're going to do some where we get all the information, but as the week goes on, as things get harder, there's going to be some missing lengths that you're going to have to think about and get in there. We're going to get started with just a fairly simple one that I think everybody will be able to get right away. An example, so if I were to write in there that on the left side, this measured 2 feet, and on the top, this measured 6 feet. I'm going to use my abbreviations, which we talked about this year too. FT with a period for feet. So if you can see it there, 2 feet on the side, 6 feet on the top. So again, important to know, if that's all the information they give us, that's enough. Because we can fill in the rest. Because if the top has got to be 6 feet, bottom's got to be 6 feet as well. And if that left side is 2, that means the right side is going to be 2 feet as well. So now I've got the whole thing up there. Now once I have all my information in there, 6 feet, 6 feet, 2 feet, 2 feet, or 2, 6, 2, 6, however I want to do it, to find my perimeter, I just have to add. Now I can do this any way I want. Now I know there's a number of you, there's probably some of you watching that have already done it in your head. And if you've done it in your head, amazing, great job. But we always want to put it down on paper, or in my case on a binder, so that we can just really, really make sure. So I can do 2 plus 6 plus 2 plus 6, write that down, or I can do 6 and 6, 2 and 2, and then add again. I'll show you both ways. So the first way I might just stack it, 2, 6, 2, 6, draw my line, use my plus sign, something like that right there, and I might add 6 plus 2 is 8, 9, 10, 10 plus 6, 16. Or if I go next door, I might do it again just to make sure. I might do 6 plus 6, and then 2 plus 2, and do both problems. 6 plus 6 is 12. 2 plus 2 is 4. I gave that one away, and then I'll add those 2 up. 12 plus 4 equals 16. No matter how I do it, I get to 16 and I get my answer right. So the perimeter of this rectangle is 16 feet. Not too bad, right? Those are things we've all worked on this year. Adding, multiples, not just one but more than one to get our answer. Now, of course, it gets a little bit harder than that. That's a fairly simple one. But we can think about that. Just start now. Even if it's smaller, a smaller rectangle, it might be a bigger number because we might not always use feet. Maybe we're going to use centimeters. So I got another smaller rectangle. But now this right side is 37. And this bottom one is 59. And we want to know the perimeter. Well, it's the same process, but it's a little bit longer. Now all of a sudden I can put in my other ones, and I should put in my cm for centimeters up there. 59 centimeters up top. 37 centimeters over to the left. And that's my whole one. I'm going to get real close so that to make sure that you can see it. So now I've got a much bigger problem. So I've got a whole big thing that I need to stack. So instead I'm going to do those two shorter problems. I'm going to do 59 and 59. And as I look at my paper, I didn't even write 59 in there. Good thing I looked at that. So I'm going to do 59 plus 59 and 37 plus 37. If you want to work at home, you can sure do this right along with me on some paper. This would be one I wouldn't recommend doing in your head just because this is a big problem. So I'm looking at 59 plus 59. 9 plus 9 is 18. Need to make sure I carry my 1. 5 plus 5 is 10 plus 1 more is 11. So I get 118. I'll move over to my second problem. 7 plus 7, 14. Carry my 1. 3 plus 3 is 6. Plus 1 more, 7. So now I have to do even a third problem. 118. Bigger number goes on top. Plus 74. I'm going to take a break and let you see my work for just a second before I keep on going. Now I'll continue. 8 plus 4 is 12. Carry my 1. 7, 8, 9. And then that final 1 in the hundreds place value. 4, a final answer, and I'll get it in there. Perimeter of 192 centimeters. So we're adding to find perimeter. We are finding the distance around the outside, and we should have talked maybe a little more about this. Third graders, you know this. Second graders, we are finding the distance around the outside of a shape, and in this case, a rectangle. This is something you would use in real life if you were measuring because you were putting up some fencing for a garden, which a lot of people do, or just a fence around their property, or you wanted to have your dog inside of a fenced yard and you need to measure how much supplies or material you needed to buy or build or go get. This is what we use. We use some perimeter. So we're going around the outside. Hopefully that didn't go too bad for you today. Tomorrow we're going to take it even to the next step, the next level with it. So practice with what you get with this today, and tomorrow it'll get even a little bit harder. Great job.